Hi. Since I started these videos, I have received many emails asking for a little bit of information about me. First of all, my name is Cherry Divine. Cherry is my birth name. Divine came after my activation. I use the term activation instead of spontaneous awakening. The information I bring in says that we all have set about activation points, which again opens us up to our knowledge, our awareness, the essence of us, the divine connection. And each of us have set these about, whether they be in small increments or in very large ways. As you can tell, I'm an amateur at these videos. This is a new step for me. Yet it's reminding people to always step out, no matter how they feel about their abilities. It's to take that chance and live your life. I don't speak at people, I ask people to participate with me. I speak in many down-to-earth terminologies or ways, very simple. And the reason being is this allows everybody to become comfortable. It takes away from those who feel that they're less than, don't have enough knowledge. I had gone to a Reiki class, which is a form of energy healing, thinking that I was going to learn how to send healing energy into another to help them. Little did I know that I would hit this very large activation in which I connected with an aspect of myself, and that aspect is an ancient. Now, did I expect this? No, I didn't expect this in the least. And if anybody would have said, by the way, this is what's going to happen, I would never have believed them in a million years. It was not in my field of thought to think anything like this could happen. Once this connection happened, this activation point happened, I received a sense of peace, a sense of knowing, and it's in continual development. There is a sense of understanding that no matter what was going on in the world, all was right and correct. There was the information automatically that shifted the words I spoke, and for me that was a very big deal. I spoke with a lot of words that took away my personal empowerment, but it also put out a lot of lower vibrational energy, and that lower vibrational energy is what we call negative. And so words were taken away, reformed for me. And so that's a little bit about me. Now the divine aspect came very interesting because I knew I would go out and speak to people. And I was thinking about it one day, and this thought went through my head that my name was going to be Cherry Divine. And I resisted it. I completely resisted it. And so I went to visit the people that had given the Reiki class, and we were talking about me stepping out and working with others. And they said, well, what is your name going to be? And I said, my name's going to be, what's wrong with my name? There's absolutely nothing. And all of a sudden they said, well, your last name's Divine. And I said, you got to be kidding. And I resisted it some more. And a few weeks went by, and I was drawn to get a reading from another woman. And I just don't do a lot of readings. It's just the way I am. It's who I am. And so when I'm drawn to something, I really know that there's a purpose to this. And we started our conversation, and she said, by the way, your name isn't this, it's Cherry Divine. Well, I know, to pay attention. When it comes in at threes, I know to pay attention. And so I, even with my resistance, claim the name Cherry Divine. And so that's how all of that came about. Now remember early on one of my videos I said you would hear noises in the background, and like my little dog, and of course she's here making noise. And it's a gentle reminder to say information comes in at all times no matter what's going on in our world. So it's allowing these things to happen without attaching to them, just knowing they're part of life too, and hearing the message. My message is for personal empowerment. It's to remind each and every person they are unlimited. that in every moment we're creating with our thoughts, with our words, with our actions, that we may change where we are, what we're experiencing through these, by not looking at the idea that we're less than, that there's something wrong with us, but seeing them more than. By more than, I mean more than just the physical limitedness. And it's to see it's our ability to shift our thoughts, to go through the old programmings, the old tapes, and allow those to be processed. And then moving into a way of creating that is spectacular, that is peaceful and loving, brings joy, happiness, healing of physical illnesses, mental challenges, all of this to us, if that serves our soul evolvement. I leave it open, and for all of those who are choosing to attach to this, it's there. Now with that, today I'd like to do a visualization. I would like you to join me in sending out an energy that welcomes anybody that this resonates to join in, to see it encompassing the world, but moving up and outside of the world too. And again, holding the thought that anybody that feels this frequency of thought that we're sending out, anybody who resonates to it may join in. So now with that, I'd like to have everybody take a deep breath in and open the heart chakra. Breathing very deeply in and allowing the heart chakra just to open and send out waves of love, absolute waves of love. Open the mind and all of its limited belief systems to disperse. We are going to ask today that you gently remove all old labels that have kept you in a feeling of being diminished in any capacity or limited. This means any label that you have ever worn, whether it be race, gender, religious, political, income, financial means, education, no matter what it is, to ask you to hold the thought of the limits, to feel them in your body and see where you have carried them and where you have worn them. Feel how the body feels in this one moment, allowing yourself to hold the thought, I bring all of these limiting labels to the surface. I do not need to attach to them in any way. I allow myself to remove these labels and set them forward in a very large pile, one by one by one. As I do this, I have sent out the information in energetic form to reach anyone that responds to this, to resonates to this, to remove all limiting labels they have ever worn in any direction, in any time, to remove them and set them in a very large pile, looking out at them and seeing that they are grayish in light form, yet feeling the freedom of removing these labels, feeling the body lighten up, the mind lighten up, the beingness lighten up. I see this move across the earth, across the worlds outside of earth. All labels that have ever divided, created any division of unity, unity of the heart, unity of the beingness, that has diminished the capacity of living at the fullness of all, that has brought about the idea that any may be more than and any that is less than, setting again in this beatific pile of grayish light out in front, every label, no matter what that label be, no matter where it comes from within you or any other. It's to remember it is only an illusion that came with the great disconnect from that which is considered and called Source, the source of all light, the source of all life, allowing all labels to be removed. Take all the time that is necessary for this and all that you're comfortable with, allowing yourself to place the labels out in front, out in a pile, away from, whether they be words of limitation, thoughts that divided, removing these labels, placing them forward in a pile. In the mind's eye, see every being that resonated to this frequency doing the same. See the body of light within and around the being expand, freeing up, brilliant, magnificent, feeling the freedom of the removal of the limiting thoughts, the limiting labels. Now see the light of the divine source of life enter the pile of labels, transmuting them to brilliance, brilliant white light, removing all idea of separateness, all idea of limited thought, all idea of less than or more than, joining every being at the level of heart, creating harmoniously within this world and all worlds that related and resonated to this frequency. Acceptance, no longer dividing, no longer division, acceptedness, looking out and loving each aspect of life that is there, knowing we are all one. Allowing yourself to feel the freedom of the release of these labels, feeling the empowerment this has given you and gives others, looking out at all mankind and feeling the oneness, looking out at all life and knowing the oneness. Allow yourself to do this many times. Each step in your own awareness brings empowerment. Each step in your awareness brings harmony back to this planet called Earth. Each step in awareness brings personal empowerment, allowing you to create not from the idea of fear, not from the idea of less than, but from the knowingness of the whole of life and all that is there, from the deepest levels of understanding and awareness, from the level of love. We thank you for joining us. And that's who I am, or a little bit more about me. It is to reach out and touch each person or any that choose and bring them back to their own awareness of the unlimited being that they are. Thank you for joining me.